Hey, everybody. How are you today? Welcome to our Lunch and Learn. And it's a lunch and learn because I have food issues. And I always want to know what everybody's having for lunch today. So, folks, if you're out there and you're hearing my voice right now, do me a big favor. Put in the comments what you're having for lunch today. I really like tacos and grilled cheese and pizza. I mean, if you're having anything good, please let us know what the heck it is. But anyway, with that being said, I have my good friend. Oh my goodness. I have my good friend Kelly Wheeler with me today, who is a ninja marketer, an absolute expert. He's actually a current active realtor as well. And when I say current active means he has listings right now. He has homes he's selling and homes that he's helping buyers with. So active in the insurance marketplace, but really just an expert marketer in Florida. Welcome, Kelly. How are you doing today?
What's happening in the world today, Joe Maniac, and all you Mailbox Power Maniacs? We are going to get into some serious stuff today, man. I'm so excited, Joe, to be on this program with you, and I hope we can break bread and give some valuable information to people because you know what? At the end of the day, this is my jam.
Exactly right. Well, I want to make sure that everybody's clear on what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about how to build the perfect list. And some people are going, list? What list? Like a list of to-dos? No, not a list of to-dos. No, not a shopping list. A list of the perfect potential customers for your business is what we're going to build today. And we're going to build several lists for you and show you exactly how it works. And it's going to be awesome. Okay, so I got some folks out here. Laura Ricksecker's having spinach salad with veggies and candied walnuts with gorgonzola cheese. Delish. I absolutely love it. Oh, Kathy, leftover spaghetti. Is there anything better? It's always better the second time, right?
Turs is being real good, man. Turs is like power protein smoothie today.
Yeah, exactly. Show off.
Jim McCord, what are you eating, brother?
I love it. I love it. Well, coffee break for some folks. Jim McCord's on with us today. Do you know how much I love Jim McCord? I'm glad he's here with us.
He's my man.
Well, absolutely. Shrimp and green bean stir fry. Awesome. Oh, and leftover charcuterie. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, too much fun. Okay. Well, anyway, let's get right to this. I'm going to actually share my screen here really quick. So we can actually use some slides. So how to build the perfect list today. And by the way, please excuse my friend Vanessa Hunter. I wish she was here with us. She brings not only the brilliance, the marketing brilliance, but the beauty as well. So you're stuck with these two ugly mugs today. Here you go. All right. So with that being said, let's take a look at these slides really quick. Who should build a list? Like why use List Builder? What is this? Whose business would this make sense for? This took me all of about 3 minutes to put this list together. Realtors, insurance agents, dentists, restaurants, pool cleaners, hairstylists, chiropractors, pet business, bakery, attorney, handyman, painter, marijuana business. I'd throw that in there. Clothing store, weight loss, nutritional, mortgage, network marketing. All of these businesses are an easy, no-brainer fit to building a list. Now, we're going to build some lists today, me and Kelly, and really we're going to build one for realtors, maybe more. Insurance agent, handyman, and a restaurant are just the core ones we're going to build. I'm assuming with Kelly's knowledge, he's going to probably want to build a couple. Is that true?
More than what you want me to build on this training today. We could be here for 5 hours, brother.
Well, let's not do that. I only like to take a half hour of their lunchtime, so they got a little leftover, if you know what I mean. One of the things I wanted to talk about, Kelly, is this. I believe you have to know your customer. If you don't know your customer, you probably shouldn't build a list because you're just kind of going over there, which isn't a really good idea in the marketing space. So, and what do I mean by know your customer? Here's a few that I have. Kelly has many others, but how much of an income would you want to know, or what would you want to know about somebody you were going to send something to as a targeted marketing piece? Would you want to know their income? Would you want to know their credit score? Would you want to know if they owned an animal? Or where, geographically, where are they? Are they a radius around an address? Or are we just going to do a zip code? What about if they have kids or not? Is it important to know their age? What about if they were renting or they owned a home? What about when they turned 65? What about if they had a pool or no pool? What about the loan to value of their home? These are just a few. Kelly, you want to throw any more in there?
Yeah, well, here's before I throw that in there, Joe, here's why this is so important, guys. Mailbox Power allows you not only to do multiple things in your marketing, but it allows you to put out a very targeted, hard targeted direct mail piece to the right client. So in the past, and I'll just give one example, we could use as realtors something called every door direct mail, right, Joe? I know you know that is. So I get those every day. Here's a sample of something I just got from Chase Bank. Hey, open up an account and get $500, right? So Joe, I probably get today, as a verse to 5 years ago, about 10 postcards a week now from companies, right? So here's what they're doing. They're contracting with the USPS, they're buying a zip code, and they're blanketing everybody. So everybody renting, everybody broke, everybody rich, everybody that's under 18, everybody that's over 80. Everybody's getting a message. Now that sounds like, that carpet bombing sounds good, but here's the problem. They're missing the mark because all of those dollars they're spending could be honed in. Instead of carpet bombing, they could laser focus target market. And that's what the list building is going to do. So everything Joe just said is very important as you're building your list, because you're going to spend less money and get a larger reward. So that's why this list building is so important. And yeah, we could add demographics to that list, Joe. What about nationalities? What if you have something that services a specific nationality? I've got a realtor in Tampa that just wants to market to military people. She can build a list of nothing but military people on our target list select. So, you know, it's up to you to come up with who your market is, and you can build that list directly inside of Mailbox Power.
You know, I want to, before we get started and we build our first list, I want to make sure everybody's aware of something that's really critical here. When you buy a list from Mailbox Power, it doesn't say current resident and give you the address. You actually get the person's name and address. And I'm bringing that up for a reason, because we have technology that no one else has. And we are literally, we're taking this old school marketing tool called the mailbox, and we've blended it with new technology. And when I say new technology, I'm going to share a card really quick. This is a card that's performed very well for a handyman service. And see where it says, Joe, we can make your problems go away?
I love that.
The ability to use somebody's first name on the front of a postcard or their last name, that's a headline that calls somebody out and says something. Joe, we can make your problems go away. And as a handyman service, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to make somebody's problems go away. But I brought that up because that technology, coupled with a list that you can buy and have somebody's first name, gets their attention. And on one last piece, the United States Postal Service did a survey that the engagement on a piece of direct mail that uses somebody's name gets 135% engagement. Now, I don't know about you, Kelly. When you do your mail, I know we're kind of connoisseurs of the mail, right? But the first thing that's on the auction block to go into the trash, right, is anything that says current resident, because it's really, well, it doesn't have my name on it. Why would I even open it? Why would I even look at it? Why would I even engage with it? So anyway, with that being said, I think we should jump right into this. Are you ready to build a list? Yeah,
you want to show a card and then we'll build a list off that card? Or do you want me to just pick something?
Let's do that. Let's take a quick peek at let's do the restaurant, the very first one. Perfect. I'm going to show you. Now, this is kind of fun, right? So a friend of my family actually owns this restaurant called the Taj Palace. And it's Indian cuisine. It's amazing, and I absolutely love it. So what I did is I went and created a postcard for him. He has no idea I created this. I hope he's watching today. So, because what this says, right? If this were going to Kelly, it would say, Kelly, you deserve the best Indian cuisine in Las Vegas. Visit us for dinner tonight. Simple message, right? On the back of the card, it has a QR code that goes to their menu. We all know how to use a QR code, and it's because of COVID. As much as some of us hate COVID, well, I sure like what they've taught some folks about how to use a QR code. So let's go build a list specifically for this, and I'm adding you, brother. Let's do this.
Do it. So guys, we're going to presuppose that we know who our target market is. If I own a business, you better believe I know who my average client is. That way, when I build this list, my marketing dollars are going to go to what I would consider my highest converting client, right? What's great about this system is you can actually build a list broad and get everybody, or you can get real specific. So let's think about an Indian restaurant. Now, Joe and I were talking about this beforehand. What we're going to do is the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to build it around a specific address. And Joe, for the purpose of today, I'm just going to use my address and act like that address is the address of the restaurant. Is that fair?
Do it. Yeah, absolutely. This is the part I love, that you can actually search by a zip code or a radius around an address. And I found radius around an address to be super helpful.
The reason for that is most restaurants are going to pull between 1 and 5 miles of their current address. And this is just marketing 101. Again, you have to know what your business is doing. If it's a handyman, you can go out farther. You can go out by zip code or county. But for a restaurant, people generally like to eat within 5 to 8 miles of where they live. It's just the way it is. So in this example, we're going to go out 5 miles and act like this is our address, right? 34,000 people live and can be marketed to around that address. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to demographics. And let's just say, because this is an Indian restaurant, that the majority of the people coming to my restaurant are going to be homeowners, because my food is a little bit more pricier maybe than a Applebee's, if you will. So it's going to start bringing the cost, or not the cost, but the count down. So we went to 25,000. I also know that because as the business owner, I need to know this stuff. My average client is a homeowner that's owned their home for, say, 6 years. And their income, they make at least, say, $45K or more a year. Okay? And again, guys, I'm building a generic list, but I just want you to see the power of this. So in a minute, this is going to update. The next thing I'm going to do is go in and look at the different personal details. I know as this restaurant, the majority of my couples are going to be married. Okay? And they're going to be between the ages of 32 and 50. So I'm going to go ahead and build this all the way up to here.
So this is about the person who's building this list, understanding their business, Kelly. And I really love that you're doing this, because you're really identifying, because I'm going to build a different list for the same customer. When you're done, we're going to build a second list. I'm going to show you an alternate route that could work just as well. But I love the fact that, we're thinking about this, and think about the restaurants. What if their minimum bottle of wine was $120?
Yes.
I'd probably take the income level and make that $120,000, and you'd find them.
Correct. Now, I'm down to 2,600 people. Then let's stop right there for just a minute. So, Joe, in our business, and I'm going to be very brief on this, we have cards that start at 37 cents and go all the way up to $3.89, right? So let's just say, we're going to send out a 4x6 for the first go round. For a restaurant, they're spending thousands of dollars a month on advertising if they're a true restaurant, right? Right there, for $970, I can postcard every one of those people with a special offer on that card. For $900, guys, I don't know if y'all understand that, but for a restaurant, drop a $900 on an ad like this, getting it to that many people is pennies. Now, you can take this list and further segment it. Like let's say this restaurant really, say 80% of the people are a specific nationality. I'm not going to do it on this one, but I can do it right here. So if I know that my restaurant caters to 80% of this, I can just single those people out and narrow the focus in on my dollars. But 2,600 people is not bad. Here's some other segments you can do. Let's say that you think your particular clientele is a specific religion. There it is right there. I'm not going to do it on here, but you can do that. If you have people that you think come into the restaurant that have completed college, you can simply hit that. It's going to update the list. Now what you're doing, guys, is you're getting a highly targeted list. The more criteria you give this list, the smaller the list shrinks to. But we call that extremely targeted marketing, because you're sending your message to a market that's the most active involved with the product, goods, or services that you sell. Does that make sense, Joe?
It makes perfect sense. I love it.
Keep going. People. I went from 2,800 to 1,900 college education. So let's look at the list, and I'm done with this one. I'm at 32 to 50 years of age, married, within 5 miles of that address, that make at least 45, upwards of 250 or higher a year. They've been living for 6+ years in the same house. They're homeowners, not renters. And they live within 5 miles. That list was pulled directly from that. And that list, if I want to buy it as a company, I can buy that list for $19.21 For $163, I can market to them on demand anytime I want for the next 6 months. That is absolute laser targeted, getting your message to the right market, and this stuff just flat out works. And way, way less expensive than EDDM going to everybody.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Kelly, can you show them a couple of things really quick? Sure. I want everybody to know you don't have to buy all 1,921 of those.
How
what
many
if I wanted to buy 500 or 250, right? 500.
44 bucks.
44 bucks to buy that list of 500. That's a way to stick your big toe in the water and go, all right, let's give this thing a shot and see what happens, right?
Buy 250 of them for 24 bucks.
Right. And again, like we were saying earlier, you get the name and the address. So let's build another list really quick. Clear the queue.
Clear the queue. The queue is being cleared. All right.
All right. So now, now this is going to seem very rudimentary in comparison to what just happened. So click on individuals for me.
Yes, sir.
Same restaurant, right?
Same address?
No. Go back to mailing list. Click on only new movers.
I see where you're going with this.
Perfect. Now click on geography. Do the same exact geography. Yep, radius around an address, same number of miles. So there's several different ways to build a list here. Now I'm searching for only people who just moved into a very specific area. Right? So what am I looking for when I move somewhere? Well, first and foremost, where am I going to get food, right? Now there's 3,674, but when you click on demography, it's very limited. The date range. Let's go there. Click on date range and click on last 30 days. I want the freshies.
Oh, Joe, you just taught me something.
I want the freshies, baby. These are fresh. They are brand new to the neighborhood. Now that to me, 369 people, I'd probably develop a postcard that probably sounded something like this. Kelly, welcome to the neighborhood. Bring this card in and get X for free. That's it. Now,
and that's only going to cost $136 to send out a card to all 400 of those people, or 369.
Now, this is the most expensive list you can buy, but this is, that's a critical piece of information that you kind of would like to know if they just moved into the neighborhood.
What about handyman? What about lawn care maintenance?
Oh, Lordy. Don't even get me going. Don't get me going.
Okay, I'm
joking. Okay, so we just built two different mailing lists, highly targeted, both of them. One of them much simpler because there were just new people to the neighborhood. Still kind of a shotgun approach, but not quite. It's laser targeted because they're new. I don't know if they'll want to buy from me or not, but then Kelly's list, laser focused, laser targeted.
But my list would not have reached those people because I went 6+ years.
Right.
So actually, if I were a business owner, I would buy both lists. And here's why. People that just moved in, and it doesn't have to be a restaurant. It could be a chiropractor. It could be a handyman. It could be a doctor, an attorney, whatever. People that just moved in, they don't know the goods and services of the area yet. So they're just now making decisions on what's going to be their long-term favorite establishments. And if I'm that restaurant, I send it to them, I've got a really good shot at making a great first impression, right?
Absolutely.
So I would buy both lists in that venue, Joe, as a marketer, as a restaurateur, and I would be marketing to both of those lists at the same time.
Absolutely. And our restaurants, they took such a beating here in Las Vegas, and so many of them went out of business and couldn't make it through the last year. Things are starting to sputter back to life here, and they need to get out after those customers and figure out where they're at. And this is the tool. So let's build a handyman card next.
Okay. So we're going to go to, actually the handyman's a good one. So let's go to individuals.
Yep.
We're going to do geography.
Yep.
Now I'm going to go countywide, Joe.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm going to go Lake County, Florida, and watch 163,000 people.
There you go.
This is way too many people. So now I've got to figure out as a handyman, who am I dealing with people that rent or people that own, Joe?
Oh my goodness. Now I've built a few lists that have been very successful, and homeowners are the cat's meow for these folks. So now I'm also going to clarify something else.
Go ahead.
I actually, not only a homeowner, but while you're on this page, I want to choose an income and how long they've been in the resident.
Thank you. I was going to do that. So let's talk about how long, Joe. When you built your list, what did you use?
I said a minimum of 3 years.
Perfect. I was going to say 4.
Around,
That's good.
We've been in the home just long enough for something to fall off and break.
And single family, guys, you don't want to send, if you're, we said handyman, right? I want single family because usually multifamily, there are condo associations, different people that actually handle that. So there we go. An income. Let's see, Joe. 50 grand, minimum 50 grand or higher?
No, higher. So I've been using a list where it's like 75K.
Got it.
So
before we go any farther, let's go ahead and update. We were at, now remember, we're thinking like a handyman.
That's right.
In my county, there's 170,000, roughly, give or take a few thousand people I could market to. That's not my market. That will make me go bankrupt, right? So we took it so far just on the first criteria page down to 44,000. So now there's 44,000 people that are in my county that make over 75K a year, been living for 3+ years, and they have at least 75,000 in income. So let's now take it to the next level, Joe.
Yes.
What do you think that most of the people you deal with, before we talk about gender, I'm going to assume my biggest target audience is going to be married.
Are you kidding? That's the one, right? Matter of fact, has your spouse been nagging about that job you haven't finished?
Let's talk about the nagger. Who's the nagger? The nagger, is that the wife or the, let's be real here, the wife or the man?
It's both.
My wife is all over me about, there's issues here I need to get handled. And so I got frustrated and I told her to call. So she called. But in this instance, we dropped to 34,000. Would you think the male or the female would make the majority of those calls? Or just a comment, both of them?
It's both. Yeah, It's both. Yeah, it really, really is. And age.
Now let's talk about age.
You're up there, right? Now, this is not, remember, if you know the customer, the people that are younger, even 32 is too young. They're still DIYers. They're do-it-yourselfers.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I'm going to start at 40.
And the income might not be enough. But by the time they reach about that 40, 45 and up, guess what? They have the income, and time is more valuable to them than the actual income, right? They're like, oh, I want to buy my way out of this problem and stop my spouse from nagging the crap out of me because I said I would do that job.
Well, I'm also older. I weigh a lot more. My joints ache. I don't have the energy to go paint, to go fix the back deck.
That's right. That's right.
I don't have that energy. I don't. So I'm actually now calling people, Joe, which I cannot believe I'm telling you this, but I'm actually calling handymen to come do these repairs I used to do. I'm 53.
That's exactly right.
So now we're down to 9,100 people, Joe, if I take it from 45 to 56. Okay.
Oh, keep going. Yeah, you're good right there. So hold on here, Chilt. Depending on what your specialty was, you could pick if they had children or not. That's kind of a could be a deal. I don't do ethnicity, religion, education, occupational group, political affiliation, interest and hobbies. I haven't used in this specific scenario.
What about okay, not occupation. What about forget politics. What about here? Now we don't have to. Actually, I don't think we need to do hobbies and stuff like that. I think that's a waste right there.
Right.
Let's go to
now the next one under pet owners. Now, a lot of pet owners need pet doors installed.
Okay, so we'll do all.
Right. Now, so all pet, yeah, exactly. But, if you specialized in something for cats, dogs, other animals, you could play that card out here as well. But let's go into that last component because here's, this one's pretty important too. Now, I want to go down to, there's a part where how old the home is, right?
There we go.
Yeah. How old is that home? I need that home to be at least 20 years old.
I love that. To 300 plus.
Right. That's it. So that there's things starting to go on with that home at that 20-year mark. And those folks that are living there under this criteria aren't going to want to fix them.
So here's another one. Not so much home value or home purchase, although home purchase is good. People that generally have a home under 200K,
right?
I don't know that they're going to technically afford a handyman, say a $300 to $800 to $1,200. So I would say I'm at 3,500, which from a county of 170,000. Now I've narrowed it down to 3,500. I could say every home from say 250 or up, right? I think that's a good one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I would also go ahead and say,
credit rating.
iffy. Credit rating's iffy.
Well, I've been using it as a criteria, and only for this reason. People that can pay their bills on time, you know what I mean?
Yes.
These are folks.
They have ancillary money. That's why I went ahead and said at least 650. Now you're going to see an update in a minute with this new list. So okay, that's a perfect list for this business. And let me tell you why.
Yep.
As a handyman, okay, I don't want to send a card to 165,000 people, right?
Right.
But for less than $600, I could send my card with the QR code, whatever the message is on the actual card, for under $700, say $600 for 1,500 people a month to get my card, and maybe on the card offer some kind of a value proposition. You know, if you contact me and you've got services, things you need, get 25% off in the month of April, right? Whatever.
Absolutely. Well, and this is a functional card for a handyman.
Love that card.
Right here. I mean, I showed it to you earlier, calling you out. There's a QR code on the back to see the owners of this business and before and after pictures of what they've done, including the call to action, which is just call me. So, this is an amazing tool for any business. We're just scratching the surface here. You can get really granular. I mean, imagine if you specialized in pool coping. I'd take the same list and probably just make sure they owned a pool, and boom, I'm in.
Done. Maybe even get rid of that list and just everybody that owns a pool, maybe they have a credit of this much and makes this much income. Then I've got my list. What about pool companies?
Yeah.
That service and clean pools. Holy smokes.
Or build pools. They can, they don't have a pool, right? That's the criteria. They don't have a pool. Okay.
All right. I know we've got another one. So what do we want to do now? This targeted list. What's the next one?
Let's see. I have coming up next. I have this is insurance, final expense policies. Yeah, let's play for a minute. Let's go see. Matter of fact,
this won't be people that just moved there in the last 30 days. I can tell you that much.
They will not, my friend. But this is the card right here. So if this were going to Kelly, be Kelly. Don't you want to leave on a good note, right? Grieving is hard enough. And really, this is about final expenses and insurance. So, a form of life insurance is what we're talking about. But let's go ahead and build a list for these folks.
All right. So here, we don't need to do a specific address. We're going to go all individuals.
Right.
And and we could even do businesses, to be honest with you, because business owners, but let's stick with the individuals. And here we're going to go with let's do county again, because there's a specific subsect in here.
Perfect. I learned something new today. I didn't know you could go do a county. That's pretty interesting.
There we go, right there. Yeah, I do zip codes in real estate because I want the list to be manageable. But for county, for an estate planning attorney, an insurance company, a final expense, county is where you want, because your audience is going to be severely categorized.
That's right.
So you have, going in anyway. It'll make sense in a minute. So for demographics, Joe, let's talk real quick. On this type of marketing, I'm going to assume that we're going to be dealing with people that are homeowners. That's where I want my dollars to go.
Absolutely.
I want them to have been living in their home, and let's go for 10 plus years.
Absolutely. Yes. They're secure.
And income. So people that don't make a lot of money really typically don't think about life insurance. They don't think about these things. So I'm going to say, again, 75K or higher.
Agreed.
Maybe I could even go higher than that. Right. So there we are, single family residence. Now let's go over here to gender. We're going to go everything for gender.
Yep. We want to know a couple of things. Do they have kids? Are they married? Because what are they protecting with this type of insurance? They're protecting their family, right?
Gender's everything.
Yep. Now age.
I'm thinking age.
And now we're talking final expense, right? So if we're talking final expense, we're probably talking about 60 plus.
Things. So let's go 50. Let's go 59.
Sure. Yeah.
And we'll go up to 70.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Let's knock it out and see what's here. I mean, we're building the perfect list for somebody who
went from 175,000 people in the county.
Yeah.
To, let's see what it does. Birth month we don't care about. We're not marketing to end at 7,700. That's not bad.
Right. Yeah, we're getting down there, right?
We're getting down there. I can't see anything here. And really, it could, because a lot of these 70-year-olds didn't go to college. These
No.
guys were the baby boomers. These guys were the ones that came out of 50s and 60s and learned to trade, became managers. So I'm not really, for the final expense, I'm not really going after college people, or we could segment into occupation, but I think we leave that open. Politics, we leave open. Interest and hobbies, we leave open. So let's go down here to personal interest. Pet owners, we're good there. Investments, now there's one that we could, because people that are thinking final expenses, Joe, they typically have investments, correct? Yes or no?
I believe so. A lot of the lists I built around this have kind of hit a couple of different ways. Some of these folks are looking for the people that have the means to actually just buy the policy, and some are looking for some in a lower income bracket. As one of our users has said, final expense is usually for those in a lower income bracket, which, yes, it does actually, it is very effective for lower income bracket. But I don't think, that's not just the only determining factor, clearly. And credit rating, maybe not as high, you know what I mean? Because this is final expense. But yeah, you're there. Yeah, years since home purchase. So they've been there a while. They're really established, and they're trying to protect their family and what they have. So yeah, let's see where we wind up.
So again, we were at 168,000 people for the county.
Yep.
But there we go. That, to me, that is the gold list for anybody in final expenses. Could be funeral homes that sell these policies, an insurance agent that has these policies that he wants to go ahead and get these sold. And honestly, for 1,300 people, do you know what these guys are paying? Let's talk real quick why this is important, Joe. These guys literally have companies that sell them leads. So somebody will go to Google and click a final expense thing, right? And they'll fill out a form. And just like Zillow will collect information. So Joe goes to Zillow, says, hey, I'm interested in a house, click agent. They get your name, phone number, email. Then they sell that to an agent. The agent then calls you and says, hey, same thing with these people. They go online, they look at it. There's companies that sell that lead, and these insurance agents will spend upwards of $100 a lead. You follow me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I talk to them all the time. And guess what? Hey, Kelly, did you know this? I hear this all the time from insurance agents. I bought this lead, and well, the phone number was bad. The email was bad, and I paid $100 for it. And guess what? I was competing with other insurance agents for the same piece of business. Ouch. That hurt.
$100 and $115.33, Joe. Go ahead and put the screen back up.
Okay.
$115. If I were in insurance and I was selling this type of product, I could buy this highly targeted list for $100. And for $1,300, for 1,352 people, depending on where they start, we're talking about a card going out on a campaign for $500 a month. It costs them $100 a lead. So they would only get 5 leads for what they could send a postcard a month to this campaign. And how many conversions can they get if they have a good card with a good offer? Holy smokes. The list is what they need, but then putting together with the power of the mailbox and coming up with a really great card, man, this to me as a marketing expert beats just about every other type of marketing I've done in 7 years, is coming up with these lists. This is amazing. It's an amazing tool. Matter of fact, when we added this to the Mailbox Power system, we were like, yeah, okay, whatever. And now it's like, oh my gosh, wow. I mean, this tool coupled with our technology, amazing. Well, Kelly, we don't have much, we're running out of time. But what I wanted to do is show this. Yes, you know this card because it's yours. Yep. So without everybody that's looking at the card getting too much on what the card says as an offer, do notice that it does say first name, last name. That's awesome. So Joe Kenemore, I want to offer you a 1% variable commission for your home if you're a for sale by owner. That one thing gets me more phone calls than anything else I've ever done. They'll call me off of that card, but I need to be able to send that card to the right list. Now, this card is an example, guys, of a real estate card going to for sale by owners. I'm not going to pull that list off of here, but let's just say that this card was going out to a general neighborhood. So what I want to do is I want to find in any given location a list of targeted homeowners that statistically are going to be in the market in the next 12 months. And we can do that, guys, inside of Mailbox Power. Now watch this. For geography, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do this on the same thing with an address.
Oh, I like this address thing because I want to make sure the audience gets to see after you build this, I want to make sure they see you can move the address around right on the map to target a really specific neighborhood or something like that.
So I live on a lake, Joe. I don't know if you can see. I live on that lake right there. There's my house, right?
You're blessed, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
I live in the desert and you live on a lake. What's the deal?
So I'm going to bring it down to 0.9 miles. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is just come up with a list of just my neighborhood. Okay. So I'm going to move this dot up. All I did, guys, is I took my mouse and I left clicked and then I hit shift. And there's my neighborhood right there. And I can probably go down to there. That's it right there. So if you'll notice up here, there's 2,900 people I could market to in my neighborhood. I don't want to market to 2,900 people. So let's do this real quick. Guys, here's how a real estate agent would build a list. Single family dwelling, length of residence. Well, I know statistically at about 8 years, people think of selling their home. So I'm not going to send my card to anybody that hasn't been living in my neighborhood for at least 8 years. And their income, I want them to have an income of at least 50 grand a year because I also want them to buy another home, right? So it went from that big amount to what you're going to see in a minute. And then I drop all the way down as a real estate agent. I'm going to drop all the way down here. And I'm going to say I also want a credit score of at least 650. And I also want, I can do net worth if I wanted, but home value. The home value I want starts at 250 and goes up from there. I'm gonna cap it at 399. So let's see what happens to that list of 3,700 people. And here's why this is important. I can use this strategy as a realtor to farm any neighborhood, not just mine, any neighborhood anywhere in the United States. If I want to become the dominant listing agent, the people in that neighborhood need to see my card once a month with an offer or with something that says, hey, this is the ninja. Just want to let you know I live. I'm here. This is where I'm at. And that's one of the cards that we can use right there to create demand to get a listing. Guys, I went from 3,700 people to a highly targeted list of 267 people. Now watch this, 267 for 25 bucks. I can own that list. And every month for under 70 bucks, my neighborhood, the people statistically buying or selling homes will get my message. That is as targeted as you can get with marketing. And the real estate example can work in any industry. You can target any client, no matter what industry you're in, and come up with a list of people you can market to, and you will see a greater return on your dollars and probably a higher conversion rate.
Absolutely. I love that, I just love that we have all of these components kind of working together. This technology with the ability to put somebody's first name on the front of a call card, a variable merge field, a variable data merge field, such a big deal. I've said often to folks, if you're buying a list that says current resident and every card looks the same and it's not personalized, you're throwing your money out the window. Please tell me which window you're throwing it out so I can be there to catch it and redirect you. Because I want you to win. I want your phone to ring. It's one of my true desires right now for my business owner friends that are coming into this business of Mailbox Power. I just want your phone to ring. I want your business to increase. Back in the day, there was this thing called the Yellow Pages. For those of you that don't even remember what the Yellow Pages was, that's how the phone used to ring. It was the only place people could find you in a business. And then the digital era came on and we had, websites and Google now, and now we've got all these social media platforms, and it's pretty expensive to kind of get in the game with them. But for, literally $150, you could probably reach 300 people like that with a postcard and a great offering, and you're going to get a phone call.
Joe, I know we're running over and I promise it won't be long. Can I give a testimony on how powerful this is? And
please.
Because it happened to me. So I have a favorite pizza restaurant here in Claremont. By the way, Nanette Mueller, I just saw I don't put my picture on any card because I'm not pretty. Anyway, I have a favorite pizza restaurant that I just love. It's actually authentic Italian. The people that own it are from Italy. Here's the thing. I have one pizza restaurant and I don't go anywhere else. I feel like I'm committing adultery, right? But this new pizza restaurant opened a quarter of a mile from my house. I can walk to it if I wanted, right? But I had no desire to go there because I have my own favorite one. And when you have a favorite of that type of food, you tend to visit. I got a postcard from them, a 4x6 or something equivalent, had a really good offer. Come in for one large 3-topping and get 10 wings for free. I'm a friggin' wing addict. I love chicken wings. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I went to that restaurant. You had to bring the card in. Bring the card in for the free wings. That's how they tracked it. So I went to that restaurant, which is a quarter mile from my house, that I never would have gone and tried had I not gotten a postcard with an offer, highly targeted card to Kelly Wheeler with my name on it. I went to that restaurant. The pizza was not as good as the other place, but it was good enough that I've been back 10 times. The other restaurant that's my favorite has lost business, not because I don't like them. They're like 5 miles away, but they're like on my backyard, and the pizza was good enough to keep me coming in, but I never would have gone without that postcard. Isn't that something? And I'm a marketer, and I got marketed to.
Yep. Crazy, right? I can tell you. So this morning I literally just asked, I was on a group of 50 people that use Mailbox Power, and I said, listen, I'd like to see a raise of hands if anybody's phone has rang because of your use of Mailbox Power. Almost every single hand went up. I know mine has, and I know yours has as well. And that's kind of the allure to this whole thing. But finding new customers, with this list builder, like that's why we're doing this call today. We wanted to expose you to List Builder, what it is, why you should use it, who should use it, and how to use it in our system. We've made it as easy as possible, and we have these cards that are ready for you. You don't even have to go build the card. It's there for you. So anyway, Kelly, dude, this is awesome. I want to do another one with you now. This was amazing. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for giving us your genius.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Any last words to these folks who are getting ready to build a list?
All I can tell you guys is use the list that works. Joe, I didn't tell you this earlier. I just closed a deal a couple days ago that was from a postcard. I made $8,000 on that deal. I just put it in my bank account. It's there if I go to my online banking app. And I got that commission check because a for sale by owner happened to grab my card and say, okay, what do you got, boy?
I love
because
it.
I sent a Mailbox Power under $1 card. I made $8,000. Now, I'm not saying everybody listening, my results aren't going to be your results. And let's disclaimer that. All I'm saying is this stuff works if you're consistent and you take these tips that Joe has been sharing for years now and you take them to heart. And if you share this with others, you'll be amazed at how many people will be like, what are you using? Yeah. But that's for another one. Joe, I appreciate you, buddy.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing what you had at lunch because I'm now really hungry and it's time to get on with my day. Thank you, Kelly. For all of the customers that are watching right now, thank you for being a customer of Mailbox Power. I appreciate you, love you, and very thankful that you're here with me on this journey to making your phone ring and growing your business and marketing yourself, getting referrals from your existing customer base. Have a great day and enjoy, and we'll see you next week.